Dear students, today we are going to study Van der Waals equation for the state of real gas. So we have already completed ideal gas equation. PV is equal to nRT. This is equation of state of an ideal gas. Van der Waals equation is the state of a real gas. So we are going to do modifications in this ideal gas equation. So we are going to derive an equation of state of real gas. It's called Van der Waals equation, because practically we don't have ideal gas. If any gas is obeying PV is equal to nRT formula, we call the gas as an ideal gas or perfect gas. But practically we don't have any ideal gas. They are called non-ideal gases or real gases. So we need an equation of state of real gas, that is Van der Waals equation of state of real gas. So Van der Waals is the name of the scientist. To derive the equation of state of real gas, he did two modifications. So he did correction in pressure as well as volume. So we study pressure correction as well as volume correction. One by one we will discuss. So consider a gaseous molecule which is enclosed in a container. A gaseous molecule will have the ability of movement here and there. So a zigzag movement is possible for the gaseous molecule. So consider ideal gas. If the gas enclosed in the container is an ideal gas, attractive forces between the gaseous molecule is absent. So no attraction between the gaseous molecule. But if the gas is a real gas, means there will be attraction between these two gaseous molecules. So these concepts we already completed. So yesterday we discussed about attraction between the gaseous molecules in the real gases. Okay. So consider pressure. What is the pressure for an ideal gas? What about the pressure for a real gas? So pressure exerted by the gaseous molecules in the container is nothing but how much force is created when the molecules are bombarding the wall of the container. How fast they are striking the surface of the container. That means how they are bombarding the wall of the container. So this decides the pressure. Based on it, what is the pressure of an ideal and a real gas? So pressure is nothing but force created by gaseous molecules when they are bombarding the wall of the container. See all the sides. Okay. Comparing the pressure of an ideal gas, pressure for the real gas will be lower one. One more question. Because in ideal gas, what is the assumption? Intermolecular forces are absent. No intermolecular forces. So gaseous molecules can move here and there in a fast manner. So molecules will bombard the wall of the container in a fast manner. So the rate of bombardment will be more. Okay. So due to more rate of bombardment of gaseous molecules on the surface or wall of the container, the force created will be more. That means pressure will be more. For an ideal gas, intermolecular force of attraction is almost absent, so that more force is created due to the rapid bombardment of gaseous molecule on the wall of the container. So pressure will be more. But what about real gas? Attractive forces will be predominant. Between these two gaseous molecules, attractive force will be predominant. They are striking the surface of container, but rate will be a lower one. The speed will be reduced. So due to attractive forces, the rate of bombardment of gaseous molecules on the wall of the container is reduced. So force created is reduced. So pressure of the real gas will be less. So observed pressure for the real gas will be a lower value than the pressure of an ideal gas. So we call this as ideal pressure. Okay. So when we try to derive an equation for the real gas, we need modification in this. So in ideal gas equation, this represents what? Ideal pressure, pressure of an ideal gas. But for real gas, the value will not be same, right? For the real gas, pressure value will be a lower one. So we need a correction in the pressure. For deriving the equation of a real gas, we need some modifications and corrections in the pressure. So this is not an ideal pressure. So what we are going to do? For real gas, you consider the molecule which is closer to the wall of the container, right? Comparing this is closer to the wall of the container. The pressure experienced by this gaseous molecule is taken as P dash. All the gaseous molecule will experience a force, that means pressure. The pressure experienced by the gaseous molecule which is closer or nearer to the wall of the container is taken as P dash, and this is directly proportional to the square of density of the gaseous molecule. So this is the concept introduced by Van der Waals. So Van der Waals found that the pressure experienced by the gaseous molecule which is nearer to the wall of the container is directly proportional to the density of square of density of the gaseous molecule, this gaseous molecule. So rho is the symbol of density. Okay. So what is the formula for density? Usually density is nothing but mass divided by volume. If the substance is a solid one or liquid one, means okay, mass divided by volume. Now we have a gaseous molecule. So the formula for density is what? Number of moles divided by volume. Okay. So symbol of density is rho, which is nothing but number of moles N divided by volume V. So this can be rearranged. P dash is directly proportional to N square divided by V square. To remove the proportionality, we introduce a constant A. So this is called the Van der Waals constant A. N square divided by V square. So ideal pressure means pressure for an ideal gas will not be equal to the pressure of real gas. So that we need modifications, right? So for the real gas, pressure will be a lower value. So we do correction. Ideal pressure is equal to the pressure plus A N square divided by V square. Okay. So along with the total pressure, we include pressure experienced by a gaseous molecule also. So we do corrections in the pressure of a gas. To derive an equation for a real gas, we did correction in the pressure. So this is called pressure correction. Next, volume correction. We consider the shape of a gaseous molecule as spherical. Any one gaseous molecule whose shape is assumed as spherical in nature. For ideal gas, what is the assumption? Volume occupied by gaseous molecule will be negligible when we compare it with the volume of the container. So more gaseous molecules will be in the container. Comparing the total volume occupied by one gaseous molecule is negligible. We don't consider it. This is the assumption in ideal gas. But what about the assumption in real gas? Volume occupied by individual gaseous molecule is not negligible. Okay. So this is also playing an important role. From the total volume, we have to subtract volume occupied by individual gaseous molecules. Right? So in ideal gas means we can omit volume occupied by one individual gaseous molecule, but for real gas, we should not omit it. We have to consider how much volume is occupied by one individual gaseous molecule. So we are going to do correction in volume in ideal gas equation. Now we are going to use the word excluded volume. For real gas, volume is considered. The observed volume for real gas will be a lower value. Why? In ideal gas, we will not think about volume occupied by one individual gaseous molecule because it is negligible. But for real gas, the observed volume will be a lower volume than the ideal gas volume because volume occupied by one individual gaseous molecule is also important. So from the total volume, we will subtract volume occupied by individual gaseous volume. Okay. So like pressure, so here also the volume will be a lower one for the real gas than the ideal gas. So you just remind this word, observed volume for the real gas will be a lower value because we have to consider how much volume occupied by individual gaseous molecule. So from the total volume, we are going to subtract the volume occupied by individual gaseous molecule. So this is considered as excluded volume. We are going to exclude this. We are going to remove this from the total volume. Okay. So the removal of this volume from the total volume is called volume correction. The word excluded volume is nothing but volume occupied by individual gaseous molecule. This will be removed from total volume of the real gas. Okay. So excluded volume. So that we use a symbol V. So we are going to calculate what is the excluded volume. For that, we do an assumption. Two gaseous molecules are in contact. So the shape of gaseous molecule is assumed as spherical in nature. And this is the radius of first gaseous molecule. This is the radius of second gaseous molecule. This is the excluded volume of first gaseous molecule. This will be removed from the total volume. This is the excluded volume of a second gaseous molecule. It can also be removed from the total volume. That is volume correction. To calculate excluded volume for one gaseous molecule, we consider volume occupied by two gaseous molecules. Okay. So an imaginary spherical shape is drawn. Okay. So this imaginary spherical shape has to be understood as this is the volume occupied by two gaseous molecules. This is the excluded volume of first gaseous molecule, excluded volume of second gaseous molecule, and this is assumed as excluded volume of two gaseous molecules. How much volume has to be excluded due to the presence of two gaseous molecules. Okay. So what about the radius for this imaginary one? This will be R plus R, 2R. Okay. So this is the excluded volume of two gaseous molecule, not one. This is the one excluded volume of one gaseous molecule. This is the excluded volume of two gaseous molecules. Okay. So V is excluded volume of two gaseous molecules. So we can write volume, excluded volume of two gaseous molecules. What is the formula for the volume of a sphere? 4 by 3 pi r cube. So formula for volume of a spherical shape. So here what about radius? The excluded volume of two gaseous molecules. The radius is 2r. So excluded volume of two gaseous molecules is equal to 4 by 3 pi 2r cube. So 8 4 by 3 pi r cube. And this is the volume of a sphere. So V is equal to 8 Vm. So first we write excluded volume for two gaseous molecules, the sphere. 4 by 3 pi 2r cube, 2 power 3 8, so 8 into 4 by 3 pi r cube. So this is the volume of a sphere. So this is nothing but volume of one sphere, volume of one gaseous molecule. So Vm means what? Volume of a single gaseous molecule. Okay. So excluded volume for two gaseous molecules 8 Vm. This is excluded volume of two gaseous molecules. Vm is the volume of single molecule. The excluded volume for one gaseous molecule means this will be divided by 2. This is the excluded volume of two gaseous molecule. For single molecule means we divided it by 2. So V is equal to 4 Vm. Next, excluded volume for n gaseous molecule. This is the excluded volume for one molecule. Excluded volume for n gaseous molecule means n into 4 Vm. We multiply this by n. So more number of gaseous molecules. And this can be removed by a constant. So this is replaced by a constant B. This is also van der Waals constant. Okay. So NB comes into the left hand side. V minus NB. Okay. So we did correction in volume. So ideal gas equation, PV is equal to nRT. For real gas, we need a correction in pressure and volume. The correction in the pressure is P plus A n square divided by V square. And the correction in the volume of ideal gas is equal to V minus NB. V minus NB is equal to nRT. So this is called van der Waals equation of state of real gas. Simply equation of real gas. Okay. This is an equation of ideal gas. This is an equation of real gas. And this is an approximate equation. We don't have exact proof for this. Okay. Next, we move into the another concept, isotherms. Isotherm means the graph obtained when we relate pressure with volume. Okay. For example, if you get a curve, so this is called isotherm. This is the meaning of isotherm. Okay. The scientist is Thomas Andrews. He related pressure and volume of carbon dioxide gas at different temperatures. So he obtained an isotherm when he relates pressure and volume of carbon dioxide at different temperatures. So we call the isotherm as Andrews isotherm. Okay. So volume will be taken in x-axis in terms of centimeter cube. Pressure is taken in y-axis in terms of unit atmospheric pressure. Okay, consider the graph. Now we are going to study the variation of pressure and volume at different temperatures for carbon dioxide gaseous molecule. Right. Consider the point A. This is the point A. At point A, carbon dioxide is existing as gaseous molecule. Remind it. Okay. When pressure increases, volume decreases. Right to left, volume decreases. Left to right, 40, 80, 120 increases. Right to left, volume decreases. At the same time, pressure increases. Okay. To consider the carbon dioxide at point A, this is existing as a gaseous molecule. We increase the pressure and the volume decreases. That means physical state will be changed. Gaseous molecule will be converted into liquid. So, the carbon dioxide gaseous molecule is reaching a point B. So, at point B, the carbon dioxide gaseous molecule is starting to become a liquid. Just starts to become a liquid, and we call the process as condensation. A gas will be condensed into liquid. And there is a region. In this region, continuously volume decreases. In this region, BC, carbon dioxide will exist in the form of both gas as well as liquid. That means we have gaseous carbon dioxide molecules and liquid carbon dioxide molecules. So this region is called condensation region. Okay. This is condensation region. And we maintain the temperature 13 degrees Celsius. So when pressure increases, volume decreases, gas started to become a liquid at point B. In this region, BC, condensation takes place. The region is called the condensation region, and we maintain the temperature 13 degrees Celsius. Okay. So in this region, carbon dioxide will exist in both gaseous and liquid state. After reaching the point C, completely carbon dioxide is converted into liquid. So after reaching point C, even though when you increase the pressure, volume will be constant, because liquid will have a definite volume. Solid and the liquid have definite volume. Gas does not have definite volume. Okay. So at point C, carbon dioxide becomes liquid, even though when you increase pressure, volume will be constant, because liquid has a definite volume. This is called an isotherm, introduced by Andrews. So this is called Andrews isotherm. This is at a temperature 13 degrees Celsius, and this region is called the condensation region. And we do this again at 21 degrees Celsius. Okay. This is point B, point C. The temperature is 21 degrees Celsius. The same from point A to B. Pressure increases, volume decreases. Carbon dioxide will be existing as a gas at point A, starts to become liquid at point B, and this is the condensation region. In the region BC, it exists as carbon dioxide gaseous and liquid molecules. After reaching point C, it becomes a liquid, pressure increases, volume will not change. So for 21 degrees Celsius, the same thing has happened, but only difference is what? The region becomes shortened. So this is the wider region. This is wider condensation region. But for 21 degrees Celsius, the region is shortened. Okay. Again, we do this at a higher temperature, 31.1 degrees Celsius. So at this point, carbon dioxide is existing as a gaseous molecule at point A, suddenly which is changed into liquid at point P. Okay. Gas becomes liquid at point P. Then as usual, pressure increases, volume constant. So at this point P, what is the pressure? 73 atmospheric pressure. Now this temperature is called critical temperature or liquefaction temperature. Important point. So a gaseous molecule will become a liquid at one particular point. It's called a critical temperature or liquefaction temperature, and the main thing is above this temperature, carbon dioxide gas will not become carbon dioxide liquid. Okay, you check that. These are all isotherms. In all these cases, carbon dioxide will exist as only gas. It won't become liquid. So at 13 degrees Celsius, we have condensation point, liquid and carbon dioxide present. At 21 degrees Celsius, carbon dioxide gas and liquid present. At 31.1 degrees Celsius, carbon dioxide becomes liquid at one particular temperature at a point P. Beyond this temperature, you cannot convert carbon dioxide into liquid. So this is called a liquefaction temperature or critical temperature. Okay, so we introduce a new constant called critical temperature. Okay. So Andrews studied pressure volume variation for carbon dioxide at different temperatures. Instead of carbon dioxide, you can take different gases like nitrogen, oxygen, carbon monoxide, and so on. The isotherm pattern will be similar. The same pattern will be appeared for different gases, but critical constant value will be different. For carbon dioxide, critical temperature 31.1. For other gases, critical temperature will be different. If you take a helium, 5.2. For oxygen, 150, 4.8, like that. So the isotherm pattern will be similar for all gaseous molecules, but the critical constant values will be different for different gases. Okay. So we have three critical constants: Tc, Pc, Vc. Critical temperature, critical pressure, critical volume. We have to study the definition of all the three constants. Critical temperature, as I said, is defined as the temperature above which a gas cannot be converted into liquid at its critical pressure. Okay. Next, what is critical pressure? The minimum pressure required for 1 mole of a gas at its critical temperature. In its critical temperature, how much minimum pressure required for 1 mole of gas? It's called critical pressure. This is called molar volume. Okay. Volume occupied by 1 mole of gas at its critical temperature and critical pressure. So these are all the definitions of critical constants. So with this, today's class over. Tomorrow we are going to derive these constants: critical temperature, critical pressure, critical volume from van der Waals constants, and last topic will be liquefaction of gases. So with that, tomorrow portion will be completed. Thank you. If you have any doubt, call me.